Hey YouTube, Bearded Bristol back with another Scotch for the common man, and do I have a unique treat this evening, for me at least, if not for you as well. With me tonight I have Johnnie Walker Platinum Label. This is aged 18 years. This is second in line only to the Johnnie Walker Blue. And I know that because the retail value on this is about $120 in this Midwestern neck of the woods here for a $7.50. I held up the box. My friend refers to this as the casket. It's actually a very nice protective box here. I only have this because it was loaned to me for the purpose of this review. So the bottle itself, as you can tell, has been tapped into, but not by me. I have yet to try this out. So this really is a first timer for me, even though the bottle is partially dismissed already. But I'm going to go ahead and take the bottle out. Also just pretty standard shape labeling and such of the bottle, but metallic silver ink and whatnot, so it is a very nice looking bottle. But that said, the tasting notes are actually on the inside of the casket here, so I'm going to go ahead and dip into that for you there. Johnnie Walker Platinum Label is drawn from a limited number of casks carefully chosen and retained throughout their maturation because of their exceptional character. It is an intense, smooth, and subtly smoky blend, crafted from single malt and grain whiskeys, each matured to perfection for a minimum of 18 years. Hence the Johnnie 18 on the label, along with the platinum and plastic casket container. So, all of the suspense aside, let's go ahead and just tap into this here bottle, which, not a screw cap, it's an actual cork. Holy cow. Love it. A corked Scotch. Of course, this does range above my usual selection of $30 to $40 Scotches and sometimes under, so a little cork now and then is to be expected. Again, with the bottle partially emptied here, the nose is probably not going to be as accurate as we'd all like. But it does have a sense of Johnnie Walker to it. A little Johnnie red to the nose, maybe a little green along with that. Definitely a very creamy nose to it in my estimation. So let's go ahead and pour some of this into the glass. Although I might just enjoy sniffing for the rest of the night. Kind of like the old days of the airplane glue, right? Anyway, on to the next step. Okay. Now, in the glass itself, that creaminess has somewhat disappeared. Definitely picking up the smokiness of it. Also, I would say a maltiness to it. Something similar to what Monkey Shoulder, and definitely just the scent of alcohol. This is 40% alcohol by volume, so from that standpoint, it is standard as are most scotches, around that 40% area. It does coat the glass very nicely. It's almost like a gelatin, in fact. I mean, it's just literally, it's not running down the glass at all, which I think is a very nice attribute to have. So we're going to get on to the tasting now. Tired of the sniffing, let's get on to the good stuff, right? Ooh, that is smooth. Definitely some smokiness on the way down, which is something, as you all know, I truly enjoy. A little bit of that creaminess that I had mentioned when I first had taken a sniff of the bottle. So we have smoky and creamy, two things that I think I'm fond of. Works very well together in this case. Maybe just a hint of honey. Just as smooth on the second swaller there. It has a very nice initial flavoring to it. I will say the longer it hangs around, the less appealing it becomes. I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing at this point, but just the initial smokiness, creaminess, that all of that flavor that's there on the initial sip, which is all great, just dissipates way too quickly, which is something I wouldn't have expected given the way that it coats the glass. I would have expected that flavoring to linger a little longer. It just becomes kind of bland very quickly. We're going to do one more here. I'll give you some final thoughts. I will say on this third go around, now it's a little more butterscotch with it that I'm picking up. Again, I love the smokiness, the creaminess, the butterscotch flavoring that I'm now picking up with it. But once again, other than my tongue still being warm, that aftertaste has disappeared. Very nice Scotch. I will say that, especially for a blend. I like it. I like it quite a bit. I would certainly put this in its place in the hierarchy of Johnnie Walkers. I think green is probably my personal favorite at this stage. But this would run a very close second, and I certainly could learn to like this very quickly. However, for the price point at $130, $120, I've seen it as low as $100 if you are looking online. This is more of a Scotch to impress other people than it is something that you are likely to just sit down and enjoy yourself. For $120, $130, you can buy some very, very nice single malt scotches that really will hit in your wheelhouse, whatever that may be. But all of that said, I do not disapprove of this. It's really quite nice. It really is. But, it's kind of a neither here nor there Scotch, which is not uncommon because it is, after all, a blend. But, if you're looking for smoky, I might suggest a nice Lagavulin or Laphroaig, depending on which American English you're using to pronounce that and how much you've had to drink. But, I would certainly pick a Glenfiddich, would pick a Lagavulin, Laphroaig. There's several single malts I would rank well ahead of this that come at a lower price point. But nevertheless, it's still a nice blended Scotch. It speaks well of the Johnnie Walker label. It's just a little too pricey for my liking and for my pocketbook. But all of that said, thumbs up, good work, Johnnie Walker Platinum. It does what it says it'll do. The tasting notes are pretty accurate as for what's inside of the casket there. But at the end of the day, I will reserve my money for other things. Johnny Red, Johnny Green, for the dollar, well worth it. This one, like I say, this is something you're probably going to buy to try to impress your friends. just so you can tell them you spent $120 on a bottle of hooch. And I apologize for referring to Johnnie Walker as hooch. I refer to even single malts sometimes as hooch. All of that said, have a great night. We'll see you again soon. I'm going to enjoy the last swallow of this and move on to the next Scotch on the list, whatever that may be.